Right, my little life resetters. I'm glad you're here. I've just had my holiday in Barcelona, which was fabulous. And I don't quite realise every time I go on holiday how much I need a holiday until I'm on said holiday. By the way, if you haven't got yourself a cup of something, make sure you pause this right now and go and get yourself a little cup of something good, because we're here to be calm and reset and refocus on the second half of the year. But yeah, I can be a super busy person with my work. I will be truthful here to say that I probably base how productive I am. There's a difference between productivity and being busy, but I probably base that on my worth sometimes, and I don't quite realise that until I step away from it. We're here to just have a little refocus, and I'm definitely going to take a few things forwards into the second half of the year in terms of boundaries with taking more time to rest. I also can't believe it's June. It's the middle of June, so we are exactly halfway through the year. And I've set myself some questions which I want you guys to go through with me. This might come as a bit of a shock, the questions that I've asked for this reset. It's not all going to be about what have you achieved this year. And you might find, if you are like me, that you look back at the start of the year, I've definitely achieved a lot of big things I wanted to do, in particular with one, getting my first home. I'm in my first home, which is just so amazing. It's surreal, actually. I rented a flat for most of my life and I finally bought my first home, which is great. And I had some business goals as well, which I wanted to achieve, and I'm proud of myself to say that I have achieved them. I'm not going to go into too much detail of what they were. However, there's a couple of questions that I'm going to answer or ask myself, which you guys can maybe go through as well. And the first one is, how much fun have you had since January? And this can come in different ways, but I think fun has to be related to, you know, that feeling when you book a holiday and you are excited about that holiday. That is the feeling that you should have more often. It shouldn't just be about going on holiday. It should be about things that make you come alive. I do things like that on a regular basis in terms of my exercise. I am guilty of not doing that with other aspects of my life. Probably don't socialize enough as I should. I probably don't nourish relationships as much as I should. There's a few different things there. So how much fun have you had since January? Ask yourself that question, or scribble it down and answer it later, and be totally truthful with that. And the answer to my question is, I've not had enough fun. I absolutely haven't. Between moving house and then just from then up till going to Barcelona, it literally was just work, and training too, but not much nourishment in between. So we need to work on that. And then the second question is, how much rest? How much rest have you had? Again, I am guilty for not taking enough rest. I don't think I need it in terms of my training. I pretty much can train quite hard and not need to take too much time off, but I do notice that I don't take a lot of rest from work. So this is going to be one of my boundaries for now going forwards. And that boundary is to have a boundary with my work phone. The fact that I have a work phone already is amazing, because it means that I can leave it somewhere if I don't want to see those notifications. But I'm very guilty of getting up in the morning and I look at it as soon as my eyes open. And at night time, I pretty much will respond to messages quite late on at night. And I was listening to Stephen Bartlett's podcast this week with Simon Cowell. If you haven't listened to it, have a listen to it. But it completely took me aback when Simon said that, one, he doesn't own a phone. If somebody like that can get by without having a phone, I think that is amazing. He's obviously got people in his life that help him, like a PA and things. And I'm not going to go down the road of not having a phone, because it would be impossible for me with my line of work. He did say one thing which struck alarm bells with me, is that he doesn't answer emails after 5:30 at nighttime. So I'm going to put a boundary in place going forwards, that I'm going to have hours that I'm available on my work phone, and after those hours I switch off. Because although I like to be very attentive to my clients and things, it's so easy for that to spill into my time of fun and rest and nourishment at nighttime, and I don't quite realise it until it all builds up. And then, for example, I take a holiday like I did last week, and I feel such a difference in myself. I feel so much calmer. That's the only way I can describe it. The world feels like it's going slower, and I think this is how it should feel. So that's going to be one of my boundaries. So how much fun have you had, and how much rest have you had? And the third question is, have I achieved what I set out to in January? And this might be the bit that might take you by surprise. Didn't actually set goals in January. Just dropped my pen. I didn't actually set goals in January. I set a couple. I had my house move goal. I had my business goals, which I have achieved. So I'm going to refocus on those. But I'm not the sort of person that likes to make big goals in January. What I would rather do is I would rather have a reset like this at whatever point in the year. I think mid-year is a great time to do it. And then I'm going to start doing monthly reviews of just where I'm at and if there's anything that I want to adjust, change, and then that's what we do. Have a little think about if you set goals in January. Are you on track for those? Or are you like me and have you had a focus of what you maybe thought you wanted to achieve in January? Because this has majorly happened with my training side of things and everything's just changed. You might find what you thought you wanted to achieve in January is now completely irrelevant. So this is why it's good to sit down and refocus and see what it is that we want to be doing. But I think the fun and the rest part are super important. I'm definitely not sitting on this YouTube channel to tell you all these magical ways to reinvent your life and goal set and declutter. As much of those things are super useful. I think it is also about slowing down, going slower. It's not about going 100 miles an hour. It is sometimes about just taking that step backwards. And that's what I feel like we're all going to do together. We're going to be nice and calm and we're going to just take that step back together. Just keep everything a little bit slower, so slow that I'm forgetting to drink my tea. It's so hot though. Okay, that's kind of step one of the reset and refocus. Step two is something that I actually really love to do, and that is to unfollow anybody that you follow that is not serving your goals. And I also want you to think of this from the other side of things. And if I don't even notice how you notice if people unfollow you, but if you notice that someone has unfollowed you on social media, don't think that that means that they dislike you in real life. It doesn't mean that they dislike you in real life. I have plenty of people, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that think this about me as well, that I like them in person, but on social media, I don't really like what they post and I can't relate to it. And this is what we consume so much of our time with, a lot of the time, unless we're going to be cutting back. But we consume so much information through here. It can also be something that really motivates you or demotivates you. You can also mute people too. If it's someone that you're really close to and you obviously don't want to unfollow them, you can mute them because it means that they don't know and you won't see their things. However, what I will say is just make sure that what you are consuming on the likes of Instagram, for example, is things that is going to uplift you and things that is going to push you towards your goals. For example, I've actually unfollowed a lot of people who are in the bodybuilding world. I just don't align with it anymore. I don't align with it. It doesn't bring me motivation. A lot of things in the bodybuilding world probably actually are a little bit of a trigger for me, which is a me problem. It is not a them problem. It's things that I had a bad experience with when I competed, etc., etc. So I have unfollowed some people like that. It doesn't mean when I don't see them in real life, if I ever bumped into them, that I wouldn't say hello or have a conversation. So that's number one. And number two is to go through your emails and unsubscribe from any rubbish that is coming into your inbox. Unsubscribe. And number two, delete any emails that are in there. Get rid of the emails or archive them. Have a fresh slate. But the unsubscribe one is a game changer. You don't realize how much crap comes into your inbox until you're sitting there trying to unsubscribe to all of that crap. So that's a really important part to me with the declutter. Just make sure that everything is coming in calm. Even look through your apps and things on your phone. What apps do you not use? Unload them to create new space on your phone. Go through your subscriptions to your apps as well. Not just to the emails that you're subscribed to, but I bet you have apps in there that you are paying for that you possibly don't use or are about to come round to. Maybe if you pay for it annually, you're going to come round to that point where you're going to be due to pay for it again. So they're all things that I would be trying to just make sure that everything is all fresh and clean. So because I didn't make any goals in January, I have made some goals from now. If you're the sort of person that finds goals overwhelming, just keep them basic. It could be to try and hit 10,000 steps a day. It could be simple as that. Or if you find that you've set yourself a goal for 10,000 steps a day and you're not managing to achieve that, take it down to 8,000 steps and make it manageable for you so you can actually achieve that goal. and then you'll be taking it off without even thinking about it. So I have a couple of goals that I have set from June onwards, and one of them actually is something that I did have in January, which I haven't mentioned yet, which was to start my YouTube channel. I wanted to do this for a long time. This is something that James Smith spoke about in his book. It's one of those things that you are doing and getting very little back from. Sometimes there'll be 70, 80 people that will view the video and nobody will interact with it, and it can take me hours to make. So I'm getting very little back from it. So it really is something for me and something that I enjoy. And I love to set myself a goal to be consistent at something and just to prove that I can do it. That's what builds our willpower to do more difficult things. To start my YouTube was one of my goals. For my goals going forwards, I've put down that I want to post consistently on YouTube once per week. And I want to try and do that for a year and to see what happens with my YouTube channel. If it grows, finger crossed it will, because if it doesn't grow in a year by posting once a week, I'm doing something wrong. The second one is I want to complete a half marathon. I'm signed up to one in August, which I've already told you guys about. I do have a time in my head that I want to complete it in. I'm not going to tell you. That's number 2. I want to visit 2 more European countries if I can, just a weekend break. Love traveling. Barcelona was just fabulous. I did put some clips at the start of this video, which you'd have seen. It is just such a vibe, such a nice city. I cannot recommend it enough to anybody. And also, if you're looking for recommendations, pop me a comment below and I can send you over some recommendations, because I do have some favourites now. Stick to work phone boundaries, which I've already told you about. I think I'm going to say possibly just the same. 5:30 at night time, I just put it in my office and I don't go on to it until the next morning. It's so difficult when you're self-employed because you don't want to think that there's messages sat there that you haven't replied to. And then I think that means I've got more to reply to tomorrow. But I think if I just take that rest at night time off from technology, I'm going to be more useful the next day to everyone, to myself, to my clients. So that's going to be the target. Once per month, outdoor walk. And that might sound really simple because most people do that a day, but I mean somewhere wholesome, whether it is somewhere local that is just out in nature or somewhere that's a little drive in the car. I'm going to do that once a month because there's actually so many beautiful places around Scotland that are just on our doorstep. This one's a little bit against what I would normally say, and it's to say yes to more things, but sometimes you also need to say no to more things. In my case, I think I need to say yes to more because I probably don't do enough, not within my social life. But also it can work the opposite way if you wanted to say no to more things. If you find you're the sort of person that can't say no to people and you are starting to hit burnout, you definitely need to look at that from the opposite perspective. I want to sign up to a solo high rocks because so far I'm signed up to 2 this year and they're both doubles, which I think is a good way to start it. But I definitely want to do a solo one next year when the dates come out, if I manage to get a ticket, because the tickets are honestly like gold dust. More quality family time. Want to spend more time just with my family in general. Don't probably see my family that much. In particular, my nephew as well. He's at such a great age, and before I know it, the time just goes by and I don't schedule in enough time to spend time with him. He's one of my favourite people to spend time with. Kids in general are like this. They're just so wholesome. Being in their company, it just makes you forget about being an adult. It's the only way I can describe it. Yeah, it's so great to spend time with him. And the last one I put was to try and hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. I reckon I can do that. I do have other goals. I have some financial goals as well and things like that, but I'm not going to go into those in detail there. I want to also show you guys my vision board. This is something that I made yesterday, and you don't need to do this, but I do quite like having a vision board, and I think I'm going to pop it onto my desktop on my computer so I can see it. You can put anything on your vision board, but I've just popped down just things that I want to achieve or do by the end of the year. Looking at it from a whole, a lot of it is travel and fitness and my new bathroom. So I just made this on Canva, which is really easy to do. But yeah, I'm hoping to have my bathroom in my new house as my next project I want to get done. So I've got that there. There's a few just travel ones and just friendship. This could stand for relationships. I did actually pop down yoga in here because this is one thing that I need to put more effort, put more attention into, is just stretching and mobility as well. So that's why that's there. Got high rocks. We have a girl doing pull-ups because Since I had breast surgery in November, I haven't been able to do pull-ups since because I had to lay off upper body quite a lot, and I really want to get my strength back up with that. Music, headphones, life, sunsets and sunrises, feeling calm, running. I'm creating the life of my dreams. This one here is a sunrise, but it's also New York. I would really love to go back to New York. I'm going to plan to go in 2025. It won't happen this year now, but I'd really like to go back maybe the start of next year. And I might actually see if there's a run that I could do whilst I'm there. Oh my God, I just got a shiver thinking about that. And this is Madrid. This is another city that I would really love to spend some time in, hopefully by the time that the year is out. So that's my vision board, but you could do whatever you wanted on a vision board if you wanted to. I also made this little goal setting document here if anyone wants a copy of it, so you could just pop in things that you want to achieve by the time that the rest of the year is finished. But yeah, I think like my main takeaway from goal setting is one, to make sure that you're happy. And that's maybe the first and last point. Make sure that you're happy, because it's really easy to get consumed in life being busy, just going into a little hole of your own little life, being a hermit, which can be nice as well. I think it's even easier for me to slip into that because I live alone and I work from home a lot of the time. Like, I'm trying to think right now, I went on holiday last Thursday, so a week today. I've seen my mum briefly since then, and I've actually not had hardly any face-to-face interaction with a human in a week. And I've also been trying to stay off my phone the last few days as well, which has been absolutely fabulous. It's been so nice. I've not even been on Instagram, which usually I would have so much stuff on my stories. I probably overpost on my stories, and I'm going to maybe pull that back a little bit as well. I know this sounds probably a little bit strange because it is something that I love, but it can be really easy to just get into that habit of posting so much. It takes a lot of your energy. So I'm just having a little break from it, and it's a really nice, just calm feeling. Everything feels calm. Watch me next week. I'm going to be high as a kite again. Making sure that you're happy, making sure that you are pushing into those pillars of things that are important to you, and having a reset as well. I've also set myself a little day each month, which I'm going to pencil in at the start of the month to do a declutter. And I don't mean that you need to go and bloody declutter your whole house, because trust me, that would take forever. But even just one cupboard or drawer, like for example, under my stairs is already getting quite cluttered. And I know that I could go in there and sort that out. So maybe the first Friday of every month is going to be my declutter day. I know that's the day that I go and do that, and I pick an area of the house that needs decluttered. I know you're probably thinking, I just moved into this house, it shouldn't need decluttered. But areas of it do already. So that's going to be number one. Number two is going to be to have a sofa day. A day where we don't do anything and we just chill. I don't even think I did that once in the last 6 weeks, apart from one day when I was slightly hungover after I went out with my friend. I don't sit down a lot, and that is another issue. I think I need to be on the go 24/7. Going, that it's an issue, that's a problem. So we're going to have a sofa day once a month, and I'm also going to have a day once a month where I come off my phone at least once a month. I'd like it if I was more regular than that. So no social media, just one day. The reason we sit on social media is because we're looking for a dopamine hit. Like if we post something on our page, we're then going to go back in and think, oh my God, how many people have liked it? How many people have liked it now? And it is a dopamine hit that you're chasing. Lola's tiptoeing around, look at the camera. Wait till she's finished. Are you finished having a drink? Are you finished having a drink? Are you finished? Good girl. Or on our social media first thing in the morning, last thing at night, it does really affect our dopamine levels. A day off of social media at least once a week. I said a month, didn't I? So they were going to be my 3 days, and I'm going to schedule them in at the start of the month if I can, and I might jiggle them around if I have to. And then I'm going to have a monthly review as well. You can do this if you wish or not, but I'm going to pop the questions at the top here so you guys can screenshot it wherever you like. Or you could do this every couple of months, or even again just before Christmas. It's up to you, but I'm going to do what are the 3 lessons lessons that I have learned. And for me so far this year, it's been that I need to slow down. I need to slow down, and that goals can change. What have been my top 3 wins? How well have I been taking care of myself? I think that's a really important question. Did I set any boundaries? I've mentioned that I'm setting boundaries with my work phone. Maybe I could be saying, have I stuck to those? How much fun did I have, and am I making enough time for this? What areas of my life are feeling neglected? Any habits that I've stopped or any habits that I've started? How am I doing? How am I doing? We're very quick at asking everyone else around us, how are they doing? How often do we ask ourselves that? For me, not very often at all. So if you would like to do your mid-year review with me, you can start by asking those 3 questions that I started with at the start, or you could make your own mid-year review and change up the questions if you wish. But how much fun have I had? How much rest have I had? And have I achieved what I set out to achieve in January? Unfollow, unsubscribe, emails, apps, declutter anything that is really decluttered. I'm a big believer in that if something is a mess, my mind is a mess. Like, I need the house to be tidy, so take that on board as well. My other dog's having a drink now. You're just gonna have to get used to dogs drinking in the videos here. And then you can set your goals for here going forwards up to Christmas time. It might just be something simple. It might just be 1-2 goals. I know I've got, what, 8 or so that I've written down, which I've already went through with you guys, but you could make as many as you wish. Look, my house is a total tip just now because this is me. This is typical me as well in the kitchen. I don't know why I do this. I make a cup of tea and I leave every single cupboard open. I need to go tidy because my brain is needing decluttered. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. If you want any other videos like this on how to reset your mindset, how to set goals in a little bit more detail, comment below. I'm happy to take on board anything that you guys would like me to start doing videos on. And I hope you have a good day.